Hello and welcome to Not One Right Way, the podcast. It's me, Melissa Manuel, she, her, and
It's me, Marve from Yaga, they, them, theirs.
Mar. How have you been? We're back.
We're back. Yapping. I've been doing okay. Nothing big has happened in my life. I'm not sleeping regularly for unrelated reasons. How are you doing?
I'm doing, I think, okay. I found out, well, I don't know if I should say this on the air, but like I found out some coworkers are leaving, and I'm trying to be really cool about it, but I'm really sad about it and worried about the amount of work that I'm about to take on. So coping with that emotionally, mentally, really sad. Um, because I really like these coworkers. I'm really happy for them. They got great jobs in new places, but it's sad for me personally.
Yeah.
For selfish reasons. I am bummed.
I mean, I don't think it's selfish to care about the relationships you've fostered.
That's a very kind way of putting it.
That's what I get paid the small bucks for.
Yeah. The social worker money.
Yeah. So have you watched anything recently?
So much, and not enough. I feel like I was in a dry spell of content, and all of a sudden, boom, so much animated content came out. I've finished Arcane, and for those who know, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, even who knows when this will come out. But season 2 Arcane is out, and it's amazing. I love that show. So pretty. There's so much stuff out. Spellbound came out on Netflix, which is like a fantasy feature film I really want to watch. There's Pantheon is finally on Netflix, which I really want to watch, another series. There's, oh gosh, the new episodes of the Pokemon anime is out. I haven't watched those yet. I got a lot to eat, okay?
Yeah. Not going hungry. It's feast or famine, and today we're feasting. I love that for you.
Thank you. Very excited.
Yes.
How about you?
I've started with my parents watching Netflix Christmas time rom-coms. Like
Tis
Hallmark
the
style.
season.
'Tis the season. We saw a pretty good one on a like relative goodness scale. It was entertaining.
Like on the Christmas scale
Yeah.
of good, you know?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was called. But the whole thing was about getting tickets for a Pentatonics concert. It's like it
Well,
felt sponsored by Pentatonics.
hashtag sponsored. Hey,
Hashtag.
Pentatonics, if you want to sponsor this podcast, hit us up.
Hit us up. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'll be talking about for the next couple months.
I can't wait for your hot takes on Netflix rom-com holiday films. Wow, that sounds lovely. Speaking of lovely, we have a lovely guest with us today. Another Lightbox connection. I feel like a lot of these people I met at Lightbox, and it speaks to the networking aspect of the event. This person is a recent grad, is a storyboard artist, looking for work, hire them ASAP. His name is Jake Weinstein, and I'm very excited to meet them and get to know them. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for joining us this fine evening.
Yes, I'm very, very excited to chat with you guys. Took a listen to a couple of your other podcasts. But yeah, so happy to met you at Lightbox. It definitely is a super cool networking event.
Yes. I met you during the sticker exchange they did, and you gave me a very lovely Pokemon sticker, and I was so excited. You just opened this booklet, and you were like, pick one of 151 Pokemon. It's like, you have one of each? It was amazing and magical.
The the sticker swap. So I went last year too. This was my second year going, and I own a sticker shop on the side. So I sell at cons and conventions. It's pretty fun side hustle. And I was like, oh, what sticker should I bring to the sticker swap? Oh, I'll just bring all the Pokemon ones. That was a fantastic decision because I got swarmed in the best possible way. And it felt very validating too, because I draw Pokemon on the side for fun. They're like, oh my gosh, like this one person, they were a storyboard artist on Steven Universe. They walked up and said, "Hey, do you have a Lickitung sticker?" And I was like, "Yeah, yes." It's a very niche Pokemon that no one likes, but I was like, "Yes, have two." But I don't know. It was I love the sticker swap.
I stumbled upon that. They're like group photo. I was walking by a group photo and I was like, oh, I'll stop by for a group photo. And then all of a sudden it became the sticker swap. And people were like, here's a sticker, here's a sticker. And I was like, this is magical and great. And then someone gave me like a little badge to put on my whatever the card pass. And they're like, you're
Yeah.
part of the official sticker swap. And I was like, I am? It was great.
That I know the exact person you're talking about. They're very sweet. They also had a booth inside.
Oh,
But
nice.
no one knows where that big group picture is. Everyone was trying to hunt down like the person who took it, but it's just gone.
If you know where the group picture is, please at us, email us
Yes.
so we could share it with everyone.
Yes.
Whether it's Tumblr, Instagram, because I know like 7 people that want that picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That sounds very fun.
But yeah,
Marv.
it definitely was.
Marv, why don't you start us off with your hard-hitting question of the day?
Yes. As you know, dear guest, social worker, I get real deep into it with the people that I work with. A lot of them are young. One of my favorite opening questions is just like, do you watch anime and do you have a favorite anime?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say that's a fantastic question. I don't watch as much anime as I used to in like middle school because I feel like anyone going to animation, you've seen some anime, but lately, one of my friends, Celia, has turned me on to Dungeon Meshi. So I'd have to say currently that's my favorite. And it made me start cooking too. So that's, double whammy.
Nice. Any recipes?
I love Dungeon Meshi.
My favorite recipe, it's not from the show, but I like cooking chili. My great grandfather had a recipe, and he passed down to my grandfather, who passed down to my dad. And I didn't get it from him; I got it from my grandma. But I love making chili, or jambalaya too.
I know some people in
Delightful.
Texas who say beans don't go in chili. What are your thoughts on that?
That's crazy.
Okay, normally I'm not a bean guy, but like in great grandpa, you gotta have beans. You gotta have your kidney beans.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like the Texans who are like, beans go on the side. They don't go in the chili. Very strange. Very strange. It's not a hill you die on.
Yeah, they're not invited.
Not invited.
Sorry, Texas. For a lot of reasons, but in this case, that one. Add it to the list. I love Dungeon Meshi. I kind of went crazy this year at Lightbox and bought like 4 Dungeon Meshi prints. They were all over the place.
There were a lot of good ones.
They were just so pretty.
Mm.
I have to get. I'm trying to think of my favorite recipe from the show. I think it's just when they made bread. It was very soothing.
Oh, that was a very silly episode. Bread.
bread. It captures how I feel when I see bread. It's just that.
That's a fair reaction to bread, honestly.
Like freshly made bread too. I'm thinking about that scene in Ratatouille where she's like, the way you know it's the best baguette is,
they crack it.
And you crinkle it.
Lovely.
Top moments in cinema.
We love food and animation.
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
Jake, why don't you share with us your journey a little? How did you know you wanted to be in the animation industry, become storyboard artist?
Well, my story started obviously as a kid, loved to draw, and I never thought animation could be a career until high school. I got my first drawing tablet for a birthday, and I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh, this rocks! Do I really want to be a paleontologist?" Um, because for that was my plan for like years to go for zoology and then get a minor in paleontology. But then my senior year, I swapped and I was like, okay, I guess I'll look at art colleges. And I ended up going to a little college called Edinburgh University. I went there for 4 years. I met some fantastic people. The professors were working in the field. They had animation clubs. I had like 100 students. I ended up being the secretary of that. And I made a lot of awesome connections with the people there and ended up going to Lightbox. So yeah, the goal now is to obviously land a job. That would be fantastic. But in the meantime, me and several other alumni get together on weekends to make, short project films. Right now we're working on indie short. There's only about 5 or 6 of us that are currently working on it, but we hope to get that out soon.
Nice.
Very exciting. So, can you tell us a little bit more about what the program at Edinburgh University was like for animation? Did they teach you just the basics? Did they tell you more about how to break into the industry? What was it like?
So you had a pretty good mix at Edinburgh. Your first couple years were, the basics, and then your junior and senior year, you had to make a junior and senior thesis film. So they basically kind of threw you into the water, and if you needed any help, you could ask your other classmates or professors. They'd, walk you through, step-by-step tutorials of certain stuff, or be like, hey, I'm not sure how to do this particular shot. Can you give me some help? The professors did a lot of one-on-one instruction too, which was pretty nice. As for getting into industry, we had a lot of alumni speakers come down, and the professors would also try to put you in touch with internship opportunities. Several of my friends through the college was able to work on some Marvel Snap shorts, Toonami bumpers, and some really cool stuff. So I highly liked the
Nice.
program.
Very cool.
So what did you do in this animation club?
So animation club was pretty fun. I ended up being the secretary for about a year and a half. During my senior year, I had to take a brief leave due to health issues, but in animation club every week, a group of students would get together and we'd either do an animation analysis, you would do workshops, whether that be in the studio or just on paper, life drawing, alumni speakers. We go on trips. Once we took a group of students to a nearby bison farm, so we did animal gestures there. And overall, also
Okay,
critique
yeah.
nights. But yeah, it was overall a
Dang.
good time.
That sounds really serious. I was the president of this one club when we were in college called Tea Time, and we would drink tea
Oh,
and we were all transgender and that was it.
that still sounds like a
It
fantastic
was.
time, though.
But I'm glad that this club that you're in, that you got to be, a bigger part of at some point, seems really productive, first off, and also like supportive.
It definitely was. For being productive, I'm definitely hyping it up. There definitely were times where we would just be giggling at a joke on screen for a while. But there were some really cool people in the club. There still are. They actually asked me back for an alumni talk a few weeks ago, which was really weird because I'm like, I just graduated. But yeah, it was still, really nice. And they also do club sales too. So artists that don't really know how to market themselves can have some practice like that. I think like 70% of the profit went back to the artist, 30% went to the club. So, they do sticker sales, print sales, and it kind of also gave some artists an idea of what would or wouldn't sell. So, it was a good time. Oh, I also made a lot of brownies for it.
So important. You have to feed the artists.
As you do.
As you do.
You go first, Marve.
I was going to ask you, sort of like going back to your childhood, what for you was the draw for drawing?
I would have to say, as like a toddler, I'd always love to draw our pets, and I would make little, like copy or paper comic books about our rough collie Max. Uh, and then after that, it was just Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon. You could not catch me not drawing Team Rocket and especially Meowth on every scrap of paper I could find. And that never really stopped. Even now, I like, still doodle Meowth. I still doodle my pets. I had a pet raccoon for a while, doodled him a lot. But yeah,
Sick.
Pokemon and animals.
I really wanted to ask about this raccoon because I watched all your films and I watched The Evening Raccoon and I had so many follow-up questions. Tell me more about this raccoon.
So he actually was one of the reasons I ended up choosing animation. I know I'm like, okay, biology or animation. So right before my senior year of high school during the summer, I was driving alongside the road and there was a little baby raccoon. And I was like, what, what's going on? I turned, he almost got hit a few times. So I stopped the car, waved to the person behind me. I said, hey, there's, something there. So I walk up, I can't find him. I'm like, oh, sorry, little dude. I drive, I feel so bad. I turn around, I'm looking for him. Nothing. I get back home and I had to do some homework for a summer art class I was taking. Come back out and he climbed in my car while I stopped. He had no teeth. Yeah, he was just there, and he had no teeth. We called a few people. Family friend of ours had several raccoons, but no rehab centers could take them. Game commission would have put them down because they're overpopulated. So I was like, "All right, guess you're my son now."
He's your son now.
Yes, he was awesome. I had him for about 6 months. His name was Cosita. It was, he was such a sweet little thing. He would follow you around. He'd play with our dog. I fed him bottles to cat food. We take naps together on the porch. He was really cool.
Oh.
Wow. Instead of like the cat selection service, it was the raccoon selection service, and he chose you.
Sadly, he was not legal in our state, so I couldn't keep him forever. So we rehabbed him to be independent on his own. Luckily, we lived deep in the woods. But one day, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, I will get a legal pet raccoon, and his name will be Caboose. He will live with me for 20 years because that's their captivity lifespan for some reason.
I'm manifesting that for you.
Thank you. I love those little guys.
Yeah. So glad that you did that for Cosita. That helped him be able to go live and fly. I'm sure they'll never forget you.
I'll never forget him. I still to this day wear a little raccoon necklace for him.
It's so cute.
That's so cute.
But yeah, I had to take it off because of the pneumonia. But I'm putting it right back on later.
Yeah. Now a lot of your shorts make sense. There's definitely like the early ones had an animal theme before they shipped it. It all tracks.
I enjoy those junior shorts. That was before I really about stuff them. I would.
Yeah.
But the more you learn.
We're our own harshest critics. I hated every film I made in college with undying passion. As an outsider, having just really gotten to know you right now, I really enjoyed all those early shorts. Like, I delighted in them a lot. I don't know if that helps.
Thank you.
But
well, thank you very much.
So I want to ask you, what is the smallest thing that you would change? Like, not the biggest thing, not the most like, oh, this is a glaring problem. The smallest thing. Something that just like takes you off because it's just not right.
About my short films, I'd say honestly, my senior film, usually how it works is you had a full year to complete your film. Well, I had to take a small break due to health concerns. I was in the hospital part of my senior year. And because of that, I only had half a semester to do my senior film. And I was like, oh, crap. All right. So my senior film is basically just keyframes with small line boils. If I could go back, I would love to actually animate it. But that was more of a timing thing. But I'm still happy how it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
I
seems like a
liked it.
big change. But what about a tiny change?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's the actual question. Tiny change. I'd go back and work on my line work more because, yeah, it definitely could be stronger.
Yeah. Do you think you've gotten that sort of strength in line work as you've continued?
It's still definitely not where I'd like it to be.
Mm.
But I'm still trying to do, studies or uh, gesture practice or just anything that I can do in my free time to try to get better. So here's hoping it's getting better.
Yeah.
Is it where I want? No, but hopefully someday it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I relate to that. I also went to the hospital my senior year of college while I was working on my thesis. So,
Hey,
Change
you know,
it.
it was crazy. And I was working on my film thesis at the time, and then I had my theater thesis to do. And looking back on it, maybe I should have not done two majors or something, but
it's a lot of work.
it was a lot of work. And I do still regret like parts of both, but I'm like, there's looking back, I'm like, oh, I wish I had added this and not done that. But we did it. We completed the thing, and that's a big accomplishment. So
True.
That is true. Good
that's
job,
my
us.
senses. Yeah. I watched the senior short Flowers for Them. Listeners, just like check it out. It's on your website, which I'll link in the bio. And then I looked at the storyboards, and I think they translate really well. Like that's a skill to be able to get your storyboards to translate really nicely to the final product. I'm just trying to like highlight how talented
Oh,
you
thank
are
you.
as a listener. So check out your work.
Oh, thank you very much. I was fortunate enough to have a portfolio review at Lightbox, and something that uh, the reviewer stated about my portfolio, and they specifically went into the Flowers with Them boards for it. They said it was a bit too slideshowy, which I really appreciated that feedback because for this upcoming board I'm working on for a short called Friending Machine that I'm working on with a few people. I'm really trying to keep in mind every critique from that portfolio review, and I've gotten from my other, I guess not classmates, alumni now. So hopefully this next board will be even better than that one.
Yeah, nice. Just get stronger each project. Uh, I'm curious to ask about your side hustle, like your Etsy, your how you've done at cons. When did you decide to become a full-time artist, making stickers, etc.?
I started Etsy back in 2021. At the time, I was an RA. No, it was before I was an RA. I was a desk attendant at my college, and I always liked making little stickers. But I found myself having like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours just sitting at this desk. So I was like, all right, guess we'll pump out stickers. So I started small on Etsy, and then 100 stickers, or 100 sales turned into 200, turned to 300, and over the years, I just never stopped. And I highly recommend any artist out there to try Etsy, Shopify, Redbubble, because you can make really cool art, and not only of your favorite characters, but your own stuff, and you get to make a little money, and you can use that on groceries.
Going for
Hey.
We love fed. We love being fed.
Let's go,
Exactly.
bro.
How have you learned about being able to table at cons? That was something I was curious about as someone who just attends them and spends all their grocery money there.
Well, I also spend my grocery money there. Uh, this past fall, I was able to vend at Erie Comic Con, and a great way to find different cons to vend at is just look up, hey, Artist Alley applications open online, and you just go through, you see if it is a juried con. So basically that means they have a jury of artists who'll go around and be like, hey, we don't think your work is up to, up to snuff for this particular con. And then you have non-juried cons where it's basically first come, first serve. And you submit a portfolio. If they accept it, then you pay a fee, sign a contract. I was trying to think of that word. And then they give you a table and they're like, all right, you're good to go. And then you have a few months to get everything settled from, getting your stock, making sure you have a square is always helpful. But yeah, it also helps having an online shop because if you don't have something to say, hey, I have this available in my online shop later.
So what is this jury like? Who's usually on the jury?
So usually for juries, it is usually several different artists. Um, and there's always at least one artist on the jury. So usually what they're looking out for is like AI content or stuff like that. For Erie Comic Con, it was not a juried con. But I know other cons like Techo, or I'm applying currently to Zenkai Con. Those are juried. So you don't actually meet the jury.
Oh, okay.
Got
You
it.
don't have to go up to like a scary panel of judges and be like, "This is my art."
Oh no, they
That's what I
they
was
all look
picturing.
at
That's what I was picturing.
no, that would be very scary. Because I was here thinking, I was like, what is the jury like? I was like, oh, I should probably mention that it's all online.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
That makes way
it's
more
all done
sense.
online. Yeah, you don't actually meet it. Think of it kind of like a job interview, and they're reviewing all the applicants.
Got it.
Got it.
Oh my god, that would be scary though.
Yeah.
It's like show up with your stickers like, "Are they good enough, sir?" And
Yeah,
they have
I
a
have
big
a
Does my
whooper.
offering please you?
Yes. Although that is a great thing at cons. Having freebies, but also giving offerings to all of your like booth mates. Be like, hey, I really like to have a free sticker. And even just stickers in general. I have made some of my best friends in the world by walking up, being like, hi, you want a sticker? And they're like, yes. Anytime I go to the bar or like a party where I don't really know any people, I'll show up with like 50 raccoons or 50 capybaras, sharks. It's a really great icebreaker.
That was my number one marketing strat this year at Lightbox.
It works.
I was like, I'm gonna make 100 stickers for the podcast. I found someone on Discord, Les, if you're listening, thank you. They did the art for the cover and for the sticker. And so I came and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna get listeners. And I handed them out. I handed one to you at the sticker exchange. I think it really, really helped in terms of being able to talk to people and just it's a little bit like the business card trading, but people are way more excited about a sticker than a business card sometimes.
It is true. And that's actually how I found you guys. I have one of your stickers on one of my many sketchbooks. Where it is, I don't know, but it's around here somewhere.
Honored. Sometimes people would like I'd give them the sticker and they'd immediately put it on their water bottle and I'd be so humbled.
It's a great
Whoa.
feeling.
Yeah. It's like right on your water bottle in front of me. Such a prestigious place.
Yes,
Place
that
of
feels like
honor.
intimate. Yeah, a place of honor.
Yeah. So kind.
Yeah. I'm rethinking my strategies now for how to introduce myself. Like maybe I need to do stickers.
I
What
I
would
I'll
highly
figure it
recommend
out.
it.
what would the Marve sticker be? Like what would your brand?
Got a certain animal.
I usually draw like in the places that I've worked, I've usually had like a picture of my face with my hours. Um and I would draw it and it was just like a little stick figure Marv like
That could
That
be
could
it.
be good for a sketchbook.
Yeah. I
that
will
good.
always know your hours because I have the sticker.
And then
Oh,
if it
that's a bad
changes, you gotta
idea.
make a new one.
And then if it changes, I have to make a new one. That'd be awful.
Yeah. So, Cheek, what is your dream job? What are you aspiring in the future?
My dream job would be obviously to be a storyboard artist. Um, I always had in college and even before, like before I knew what anything was, I would always have so much fun going into YouTube and just watching animatics, behind the scenes stuff, or even just like, like a fan drawn animatics of characters. And to this day, I have the most fun like in the pipeline of animation whenever I am storyboarding. And that would just be fantastic to storyboard on a TV show. I don't know if I could do feature. Um, but obviously with the state of the industry, I still hope it happens, but right now it might not be the best time to graduate with this degree. For anyone trying to break into the field, uh, I wish you the best of luck. We will need it. Uh, but yeah, hopefully one day I and everyone else that wants to be a storyboard artist that keeps at it makes it.
I agree. It's definitely a hard time to be in the animation industry.
Oh yeah.
And if animation isn't like totally feasible right now, or at least storyboard artist, what is like your next go-to? Would you be a concept artist? Would you do layout? Anything in the other parts of the pipe?
Uh, as for anything in the other parts of the pipeline, I have a lot of fun doing After Effects rigs. Um, so I might try doing something there. Currently, I am also gonna take a break off potentially to teach for a year or two. I was able to do a study abroad program in Japan, and several friends of mine were living there, and they said, "Hey, Jake, you should look into the JET program." So I applied to that, and if I get accepted, I will be going to Japan. I'll know if I got it in January. So I'd be going over there for a year to teach English during the day, but then my afternoons and nights, I would still be working on my portfolio and sending stuff out.
Cool. My
Oh,
sister did that program.
oh, she like it?
I honestly don't know. I feel like that was forever ago. Like, I'm just now remembering that she was in Japan for a while.
I didn't even know that.
Right? How did I forget this piece of information?
It's always the sister lore.
It's always the sister lore that comes out and surprises you.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
Very cool. Did you go to the panel at Lightbox about how anime is made?
I did not end up going to that panel. I didn't go to as many panels as I did last year, mostly because I ended up seeing a lot of old friends from last year and making a lot of new ones too. So I ended up running around for the majority of it. So I only went to probably, oh my gosh, only like 3 or 4 panels. Um,
It's okay. I'm only asking because with how things go in here, and after watching that panel, they talked a lot about how the pipeline's very different. And the two people who did it were like, if you ever want to come work in anime, we need help. So maybe it's worth looking at getting a job in the anime industry. Maybe it's better. I don't know.
that would be pretty sick. I definitely want to see how the industry evolves and bounces back hopefully in the next few years because obviously animation will always be my one and only. Um, but I was an English tutor in high school and I do really like the classroom setting. And it would be really cool if, I spent a few more years working on my portfolio, doing that during the day. And if I come back, still can't get too much industry work, then hey, I would love to be an animation professor one day. That'd be fantastic.
That's always been my fallback. I said if all else fails, I'm going back to academia. I'm
Mhm.
just going to teach animation theory,
True.
the like high level stuff.
Yeah. I think I would get a doctorate in something.
That I was gonna say a doctor in animation. You would be brave for that. Um,
That would be me. I just want to talk. I don't want to like teach like how to make. I just want to like let's watch cartoons and talk about them in the theoretical sense, like you would about Alfred Hitchcock or something.
Yeah.
I'd take that class, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would. I want to be that guy.
We had that guy on campus. His name was Brad. He's an animation professor. He is fantastic. After our senior film festival, we always take him out to the bar. Super chill guy, obsessed with Transformers. And if you like talk about a show that he's like watching or is into, he'll just go on and on. I don't know. I would strive to be that kind of professor because he would never, talk down to anyone. He'd just be like, "All right, guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, that might be me someday. But it'd be like about the Owl House. But you guys want to talk about the Owl House with me, kids? What's up, kids?
I love the Owl House. My favorite storyboard artist actually worked on that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a perfect show.
Oh, it is.
I'm in love with it.
And we got robbed of 5 seasons.
We really did.
Robbed.
Actually, I even have a staff of.
Wow, the reveal.
Oh,
It's the wrong way. I have a flapjack staff from the
Wow.
show.
oh my gosh.
R.I.P. Flapjack and our hearts forever.
In
That's
our
so
hearts
crazy.
forever.
He's fine, guys. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're right. So sorry.
We for the season finale of the series finale, we broke into one of the theater rooms on campus, me and a group of like 10 or 12 people. And if any of the staff at my school are listening to this, no, you're not. So we broke in, grabbed Sheets, which is a fast food over, on the East Coast, and we all cried like babies at the big screen watching like the series finale when it first aired. Oh, great
As
show.
you should. I also cried like a baby. A lot. Like for a long time. Like a good 10-minute cry.
It was the end of an era.
It was. That and Amphibia. Every time I go to the Aquarium of the Pacific here in California, it's in the finale of Amphibia. They go into the Aquarium of the Pacific because Anne works in the frog exhibit. And every time I go to the frog exhibit at the Aquarium of the Pacific, I still cry a little because it reminds me of the Amphibia finale.
Wow.
It had a good finale. Yeah, every time I see that one type of tree frog, I'm like, Sprig?
Spraying against the world.
Crap, I forgot about that.
That alone makes me tear up.
There's one scene in Amphibia, wherever Anne is with Sprig and he's talking about his mom and how he doesn't really remember her. And could you really like miss someone that you don't remember? And they just like hug and start crying. I was like, okay, that had a little kick to it. Had a little spice.
Wasn't ready for that in this haha funny show.
That's the beauty of animation. Whenever the haha funny show has okay, we're gonna like destroy these characters for like 5 seconds and then haha more funny.
Yeah. So good. That was my film thesis. It's all about how kids shows are just way deeper than anything in live action sometimes. Most of the time.
Oh, you said it.
I agree.
I'm right. Ugh, I love cartoon.
They're fantastic.
Well, Jake, do you have any final words of advice as a recent grad for other students, recent grads as yourself?
All right, everyone, keep drawing, keep applying to every job that you can, network, because the next person you talk to could be your best friend working at Disney or at DreamWorks or at an indie studio. And I don't know, never stop watching stuff. Be kind. Oh, and drink water.
Drink water.
Doing that right now.
I'm also trying to stay hydrated. It is so dry here.
I believe it.
I do stand up with my artists twice a week, and they're always like, "Do you have anything, Melissa?" Because I'm the producer, and I say, "No, just drink water." Because one of my artists was like, "Oh, I got so dehydrated, I passed out." So now I always
Oh,
say, "Drink water."
Yeah.
At Kyle, Kyle, drink water.
Kyle, drink water right now.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Thank you, Jake.
Yes.
It's been so lovely getting
You,
to know you, and thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for having me. This was a very fun time. I had to go down a little trip of memory lane tonight, which was very nice.
I'm glad. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for meeting us.
Yeah, it's lovely. Well, thank you, Jake. We'll let you go, and thank you for coming on and being a listener.
Yeah.
Thanks. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And hopefully, there are many, many more episodes to come.
Yes. You have a good night as well.
Bye, guys.
That was our conversation with Jake.
I'm always find it lovely and wonderful when you have a chance to talk about how much you love cartoons, Melissa, and that you have somebody who gets it, you know? Because I get it a little bit, but like somebody who loves animation the way you do. That's always inspiring.
Thank you for being so supportive of my forever interest. I was gonna say it's like a niche thing, but it's like what I'll always love.
Yeah. And it's not a guilty pleasure either. Like,
This is just my life.
it's just your life.
Yeah, forever and always. We had Jake on because I posted on Instagram who wanted to be a guest, and he reached out. And guess what? He was a guest. So if you want to be a guest, listener, email us, message us, and you too could be on this very podcast.
Mhm. And remember, there's
Not
one
right
way.
to get a pet raccoon.
There's not one right way to become a raccoon father.
There's not one right way to make short films about raccoons.
Yeah. There's not one right way to make grocery money by drawing your cartoons.
There's not one right way to network at cons by giving out stickers. Let's say bye to our listener.
Bye.
Bye.